Welcome to the deep dive. Ever wondered how those instant messages just, well, appear on your screen, without you ever hitting refresh? We all use these real-time chat apps constantly for messaging friends, getting quick customer support, maybe collaborating with colleagues.
They're everywhere.
Exactly. So today, we're pulling back the curtain on that everyday magic. We're exploring how these apps are actually built, what makes them tick.
And this session is really your shortcut to understanding a critical part of, well, modern digital life.
Yeah.
Our mission really is to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge about building these incredibly prevalent applications, and specifically focusing on how you can do this without the, let's say, traditional headaches of managing your own server.
Right. Skip the server management part.
Exactly. We'll show you the why and the how behind the magic, without getting you totally lost in the weeds.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks then. Instant communication is, well, it's undeniably a must-have today.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about it. A quick text to a friend, getting immediate help from customer service online. We just expect messages to appear instantly.
It's the standard now.
But for developers or, tech enthusiasts who've maybe dabbled in app creation, the back end, that always seems like this complex beast.
It certainly used to be.
So how do messages just show up without you ever needing to hit refresh?
Yeah, you've really hit on the core challenge there. Imagine trying to build something like, say, Instagram DMs or a live customer support chat maybe 5-10 years ago.
Right.
You'd be starting basically from scratch on the back end, managing servers, scaling databases, ensuring security. It was, frankly, a massive undertaking, often the biggest hurdle.
Right, a huge barrier to entry.
Totally. But here's where it gets really interesting. Google's Firebase, especially when you pair it with Android Studio, it provides this powerful ecosystem that just bypasses much of that traditional complexity.
Oh.
This isn't just about saving developers time, though. It's more like a paradigm shift. Firebase sort of democratizes app development. It lets small teams, even individuals, build and scale production-ready apps that, previously needed huge infrastructure investments.
Wow. Okay, so the fundamental shift in how we even approach building apps. That sounds transformative.
It really is.
So what's the secret sauce here? Why Firebase? Why is that the chosen solution for these snappy, real-time chat apps?
Well, what's fascinating is that Firebase is a cloud-based NoSQL document database.
Okay, NoSQL, so not like traditional tables.
Exactly, which means it's incredibly flexible for, say, evolving chat message formats. It doesn't rely on rigid, predefined schemas, and it's specifically designed to sync data across all connected clients in milliseconds.
Milliseconds, right.
And this instantaneous syncing of these JSON-formatted documents, JSON being that lightweight, human-readable format everyone uses.
Your common format.
That's precisely what makes messages appear immediately in a chat app. It completely eliminates the need for manual refresh or constant polling, which just drains battery and slows things down.
Right, polling is inefficient.
Totally. So that real-time data flow, that's the cornerstone for any modern chat system.
That makes perfect sense for the user experience. But thinking from a development standpoint, what kind of underlying tech is Firebase sort of hiding away here? Are we talking WebSockets, long polling?
Yeah.
What are we, as developers, not having to manage anymore?
That's a great question. Firebase actually abstracts away all of that low-level networking stuff. Typically, yeah, it uses WebSockets under the hood for that persistent two-way communication.
Right.
But as a developer, you don't need to write a single line of WebSocket code. You don't worry about connection management, error handling, reconnect logic. None of that.
Right.
Firebase handles it all seamlessly. You basically just read and write data and trust that it's going to sync in real time. It's almost a set it and forget it approach for the real-time infrastructure part.
That is a huge simplification. Huge. So Firebase provides that instant syncing, the cornerstone.
But okay, beyond just the database, what other specific tools and features does Firebase layer on top? To make building a full chat app not just possible, but genuinely streamlined.
Right. It's really a comprehensive suite. It's not just the database.
Okay.
First, as we talked about, real-time database integration. That's fundamental. Stores and syncs messages instantly, uses that flexible JSON, and a crucial bonus here, robust support for offline caching.
Offline support.
Nice. Yeah. And automatic synchronization when you get connectivity back. So your messages still go through even if you were like in a tunnel or something.
Okay, that's essential. What else?
Then there's user authentication. Super important. For any secure chat, you need to know who's who.
Absolutely.
And Firebase supports a bunch of flexible login methods, which is really convenient, You can do email password, Google sign-in, Facebook, even phone number logins. Gives your users options.
Right, makes it easy for users to sign up. Exactly. Then what about pictures and videos? That's where cloud storage for media comes in.
Ah, for attachments.
Yep. Firebase integrates with its own Firebase storage service to handle all the heavy lifting of storing and retrieving images, videos, documents, whatever people send, securely and scalably.
So you don't need a separate S3 bucket or anything like that?
Nope, it's all integrated, keeps things simpler. And how do users know they have a new message if the app's closed?
Notification.
Push notifications, exactly. Firebase Cloud Messaging, or FCM, that's the service that reliably pings users about new messages, even if the app isn't running.
And you can customize those.
Oh yeah, highly customizable. For group mentions, private chats, specific keywords maybe, lots of possibilities.
The Abby, database, auth, storage, notifications. What about handling lots of users? And privacy.
Good points. That brings us to scalability and security. This is where Firebase really shines for many. The insight here is that it abstracts away the huge engineering challenge of scaling. You're not just building a chat app, you're building one that can, in theory, grow from 10 users to millions without you needing a dedicated DevOps team just for the chat backend.
Wow.
You can set granular database rules to protect user privacy, who can read what, who can write where, and it's built to scale to thousands, potentially millions of concurrent users without performance just falling off a cliff.
You mentioned it scales effortlessly to thousands, even millions of users. But what about the cost? Is this effortless scalability always cost-effective? Or are there maybe scenarios, like at extreme scale, where building your own backend might actually be cheaper?
That is a very perceptive question. And yeah, it's something developers definitely need to think about.
Right.
For most startups, small to medium businesses, individual projects, Firebase is incredibly cost effective. You pay for what you use, basically, and you avoid all the upfront cost and ongoing maintenance of servers. The value prop is huge there.
Makes sense for getting started quickly.
Definitely. However, at, let's say, truly extreme hyperscale levels, think a global platform, hundreds of millions of daily users, petabytes of data.
Okay, massive scale.
Yeah. Then a custom backend, meticulously optimized by a large in-house team, might eventually offer better unit economics. Or maybe allow for highly specialized features that a managed service just doesn't offer. But honestly, for the vast majority of apps, Firebase gives you incredible speed to market and a really optimized cost structure.
That's a fantastic, really nuanced breakdown. Okay, understanding what Firebase offers is super helpful for the why. But for someone listening thinking, okay, I want to build this, the next question is how? How do you actually translate these features into a working app? Can you give us maybe a high-level flyby of the practical steps?
Absolutely. Yeah. Think of it like a clear path. It simplifies what used to be a really complex journey. There are basically 6 high-level steps if you're using Android Studio and Firebase.
Okay, 6 steps. Let's hear them.
First, you set up your Firebase project. Go to the Firebase console online, create a project, and then integrate it with your Android app. This means adding the Firebase SDK, the software development kit.
Right, the libraries.
Yep, the tools and libraries that let your app talk to Firebase. Second, you implement user authentication. Choose how users log in, email, Google, whatever, and configure the Firebase Auth SDK.
Get users logged in securely. Got it.
Third, design the chat UI. This usually involves using something called a recycler view in Android. It's really efficient for displaying long lists, like messages.
Ah, recycler view. Why is that important here?
Well, its view recycling mechanism is key. It reuses the view containers as messages scroll off screen instead of creating new ones constantly. That's crucial for smooth performance with potentially thousands of messages. You also probably create custom layouts, to make sent messages look different from received ones.
Makes sense. Keep the UI snappy.
Okay, step 4. Fourth, connect to Firebase real-time database. This is where you actually push new messages to the database, and critically, you set up listeners to get notified instantly when new data arrives. That's how you update the chat window in real time for everyone.
The core real-time.
Yeah.
Fifth, add media messaging.
Yeah.
Integrate Firebase storage. Let users upload images, videos, maybe display little previews right in the chat.
Handle those attachments.
Right.
And the last step.
And finally, 6th, enable push notifications. Use Firebase Cloud Messaging, FCM, to send those alerts we talked about so users know when they have new messages, even if the app is in the background. You can even customize the notification content.
Okay, that seems like a pretty clear roadmap. Setup, auth, UI, database, media, notifications.
That's the gist of it, yeah.
So beyond just, simple person-to-person messaging, what kind of real-world things can actually be created with this? Where can students or developers maybe apply this knowledge in more advanced ways? Oh, the applications are super diverse. Firebase really empowers developers to think bigger. Beyond the obvious messaging app, you can build things like, uh,
Like what?
lightweight WhatsApp-like social media chat systems, apps that can scale up pretty quickly.
Okay.
It's perfect for customer support tools. Real-time chat between customers and agents, maybe with features like seeing when the other person is typing.
Live chat support. Yeah, I see that everywhere.
Exactly. You could build robust team collaboration apps, group chats, sharing files, project discussions, maybe even integrating with other tools.
Slack-like features.
Sort of, yeah. Or even something really innovative like IoT device communication.
Internet of Things. How does chat fit in there?
Well, imagine messaging between a user and their smart home hub, or getting alerts from industrial sensors, or even communication with connected cars. Basically, facilitating messages between users and smart devices.
Oh, interesting applications.
Yeah, and honestly, developing with Firebase is just an excellent way to learn mobile development, cloud integration, scalable architecture, all really valuable skills. It lets developers focus their energy on the cool features and the user experience rather than getting, bogged down by complex back-end setup and maintenance. It really is about innovating faster.
And that, I think, truly summarizes the core takeaway here today. Firebase really does remove those back-end headaches. It frees up developers to focus on the fun part, building great features, crafting that amazing user experience. We really hope this deep dive gave you a clearer path to understanding what's honestly a complex but totally ubiquitous topic.
Yeah, and this raises an important question, maybe something for you to think about after this.
Oh.
Consider how this back-end as a service approach like Firebase offers, how that might continue to impact the future of app development, not just mobile, but across different industries. What other complex systems could benefit from similar simplifications? Where else could this let innovation flourish even faster?
That's a great point.
It really makes you think about all that invisible architecture that's powering the apps we use every single day, and just how much more accessible building powerful applications has become.